The Luthor family tree is a complex storyline with power, ambition, and long-lasting rivalries. At its center is Lex Luthor, who is a brilliant and deadly figure in the DC universe. The Luthor family's legacy spans different adaptations and stories. It is defined by difficult relationships, tangled plots, and a never-ending quest for dominance. As we explore the branches of this family tree, we encounter diverse characters. Each of them contributes to the storyline in unique ways. The Luthor family dynamics play out with a mix of intelligence and an always-on pursuit of control. Join us on our journey through the generations, where the Luthor name echoes with influence and leaves a mark on the DC Comics universe. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Unaccounted expenditures coming out of the Smallville plant, I thought it prudent to investigate.
Lionel Luthor, father. Lionel Luthor was the father of Lex Luthor. He made his debut in the Smallville TV series before being introduced into the DC universe. Lionel lived in Smallville and faced a lack of respect from the townsfolk. He took out his frustration on his son, Lex, who was often labeled a bookworm. No one could have imagined what Lex and his books were brewing. During Lex's final year in high school, Lionel experienced a series of unusual accidents. He narrowly escaped death each time. Mysteriously, a Superboy saved him and marked the presence of a hero in the town. However, Lionel's pre-existing heart condition was triggered by an allergic reaction, leading to his demise. Guess who claimed all of the insurance money? Yeah, the bookworm. While Lionel typically had no superhuman abilities, he once possessed a Kryptonian relic that allowed him to switch minds with Clark Kent. This is when he gained access to all of Superman's powers. After a series of super fights, Lionel returned to his normal body. However, he lost memory of the incident but felt a lasting change in him. Talking about business, Lionel was a ruthless strategist who navigated boardrooms with the skill of a seasoned military general. Although he was middle-aged, he maintained good physical shape and showed signs of high strength and stamina, which was too much for regular exercise. While channeling Jor-El's spirit, Lionel briefly gained almost Superman-like strength and stamina. In the Smallville TV series, Lionel Luthor's story takes a dramatic turn when he is killed by his son, Lex, in Season 7, only to return as an Earth 2 clone in Season 10, where he raises Clark and Clark Luthor, also known as Ultraman.
But not for long.
Letitia Luthor, mother. In the pages of Superman number 7, a surprising revelation unfolded. It exposed Lex Luthor's family, especially his mother, and reintroduced other characters from the past. The creative team brought this unexpected twist to life. Lex was recovering from medical surgery while he was still in prison. Turns out if you're a filthy rich villain, you get everything in prison. Lex's conversation with Lois Lane was abruptly interrupted by the entry of a red-haired woman. It was his mother. Lex Luthor's family background has seen various iterations over time. During the golden age of the Man of Steel Superman comic books, his mother, Arlene, played the role of a homemaker in Smallville. However, the post-crisis era took a different direction. Initially, it left Lex's parents unknown in Lex Luthor, the unauthorized biography, in the year 1989. This portrayal revealed their deaths in a car crash when Lex was 13, showing them as abusive. It accused Lex of causing the crash so that he could benefit from the insurance money. Subsequent comics identified Lex's parents as Lionel and Letitia Luthor. This drew inspiration from the Smallville television series. Lionel Luthor was not Lex's father, but an important figure with an ever-confusing relationship. Plus, the Supergirl TV series also featured a character named Lilian Luthor, who shared Lex's vision and xenophobia. She further played a pivotal role in creating the Superman villain Metalo through the Project Cadmus in the Arrowverse. In the 2023 comic Twists, Lex Luthor's family story takes an unexpected turn, surprising us by reintroducing familiar characters in surprising ways.
Assassination attempt. Hey, look.
Lena Luthor, sister. Lena Luthor is the daughter of Lionel Luthor. She is also the youngest sibling of Lex Luthor and the mother of Lori Luthor. In the pre-crisis era, she was Lex's younger sister who lived with their father. When Lex turned to a life of crime, they changed their family name to Thoro. However, in this universe, Lena is Lex's little sister and Lionel's daughter. She grows up with Lex until he leaves Smallville. It is shown that Lena faces health challenges, and her daughter Lori takes care of her. When Lori befriends Superboy, she introduces him to Lena. Lex later appears with kryptonite and claims he can cure Lena. After a demonstration, Lex reveals his real evil intentions to Superboy. It's hard to keep track of these characters due to multiversal confusion. I mean, this is truly the multiverse of madness. In the New 52, Lena works in Lex's laboratory beneath LexCorp Tower, and Lex attempts to heal her but fails. Further, in live-action adaptations like Superboy and Smallville, Lena plays different roles. In Superboy, she is the only person Lex ever loved, and her fake death triggers Lex's destructive plot. In Smallville, Lena appears as Tess Mercer, inheriting Lex's assets. She becomes a trusted friend of Clark and later discovers her true identity as Lutessa Lena Luthor, abandoned by Lex's father. This revelation ties her to Lex's illegitimate son, Lucas. Lena Luthor II, daughter. Lena Luthor was the daughter of Lex Luthor and Contessa Erica Alexandra del Portenza. She faced a complex and manipulated upbringing. Come on, Lex Luthor is her father. What do you expect? Lex named her after his foster sister, Lena Thorell, who was believed to be the last person to genuinely love him but was killed by their foster father. Lex took drastic measures like drugging Contessa to remove her as a competition for Lena's love and affection. However, Contessa was secretly immortal, and as a result, she not only escaped but faked her own death too. Shortly, Brainiac 13 arrived from the 64th century and added another layer to Lena's story. The modern Brainiac possessed infant Lena, which led to a deal between Lex and Brainiac 13. Lex agreed to give Lena's body to Brainiac 13 in exchange for upgrading technology to rebuild LexCorp. Every time I come across Lex's shenanigans, I simply have one question. Why didn't Clark just snap his neck? A few years later, Lena, who was then a teenager under Brainiac 13, returned during the Our Worlds at War crossover. Initially, she manipulated events for Brainiac 13, but her allegiance shifted when Lex convinced her to betray her master. Soon as Brainiac 13 and Imperiex were defeated, Lena was transformed back to an infant state with Brainiac discs on her forehead. Furthermore, in the Superman Metropolis series, an artificial intelligence believing itself to be Lena Luthor emerged. She created a human body for romantic pursuits too. However, Superman confronted her with the real Lena and revealed that her personality was a computer simulation. Lena later reappeared as an adolescent, marked by her experiences with Brainiac and accompanied by her grandmother, Lillian Luthor. Connor Kent, partial clone. Connor Kent was also known as Superboy or Con-El. He was a hybrid clone created by Nowhere, using genetic material from Superman and Lex Luthor. Initially, he was designed to be a replacement for Superman, but Connor took his own path and joined the Teen Titans instead. Attaboy! Superman's origin involves a genetic experiment by Project Cadmus. They used Superman's DNA after his death by Doomsday and incorporated blood from Lex Luthor. Finally, Connor was artificially aged to his mid-teens and further implanted with knowledge suitable for someone of his biological age. He was freed by the Newsboy Legion before the experiment's completion. Superboy set out into the city, encountering challenges and eventually meeting his manager, Rex Leach. In the Flashpoint Prime Earth storyline, Superboy was revealed to be the first trans-terrestrial clone who was a fusion of Kryptonian and human DNA. He was created by Nowhere, and he later discovered that his genetic makeup included 10% of unknown DNA. He escaped his cloning tank and was subjected to virtual reality and power exercises to monitor his growing telekinetic abilities. Connor was later assigned by Nowhere to deal with the Teen Titans, where he faced conflicts with various aliens and metahumans. In the New 52, Superboy's unique combination of 45% Kryptonian, 45% human, and 10% unknown race DNA grants him both physical and psionic powers. His potential is described as limitless. It is growing with time and driven by the strength of his will. Jimmy Olsen, distant cousin. In the Prime Earth storyline, the very distinctive red hair in the Luthor family is a result of Hannah Luthor becoming pregnant by Kimberly Olsen. Despite disapproval from both families, the union went ahead with unbreakable determination. This connection makes Lex Luthor a long-lost cousin to Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy Olsen is a photographer and a journalist for the Daily Planet. He is renowned for his close friendship with Superman. Jimmy was raised by his mother, Sarah, after his father went missing in the military. Jimmy demonstrated intelligence from a pretty young age. His early fascination with Metropolis news led him to become an intern at the Daily Planet during junior high school. Jimmy's notable moment came when he took a photograph of Superman's torn cape after the hero's battle with Doomsday. This image became iconic in a Superman retrospective published by Newstime. Jimmy is known for getting into trouble, and his adventures often require Superman to save his ass. However, over time, Jimmy matures and proves he can handle challenges on his own. During Superman's extended battle with the powerful Atlas, Jimmy observed a mysterious figure at the scene. He investigated further and discovered that the person was codename Assassin. This dude was responsible for the deaths of Double X and the original Newsboy Legion. Jimmy faked his own death with Natasha Iron's help and went undercover to unveil information about the secretive organization Project 7734. Julian Olsson, distant cousin. Julian Olsson was also named Mr. Metropolis. He is a notable Metropolis businessman who was engaged in a long-standing feud between the Olssons and the Luthors. When Lex Luthor aimed to demolish the Metropolis Monarch, which was a monument as a tribute to the Luthor family, Julian foiled the plan. He recognized Lex's hidden agenda to control critical infrastructure that was under the monument, but Julian resisted. Lex orchestrated events that led to Jimmy destroying the Monarch. Now, this allowed Lex to build it again without direct involvement. This incident spoiled Julian's patience and finances. It even depleted Olsson's wealth as he managed investments and dealt with Jimmy's mishaps. Julian further realized that Jimmy hadn't used his trust fund and devised a plan. He posed as Mr. X and arranged a contract on Jimmy's life, aiming to get the funds back to the rest of the family upon Jimmy's death. However, Jimmy uncovered the truth and defied his brother. Julian attempted to run away from Metropolis and found himself cornered at the airport by Jimmy and his gang. In a fit of rage, Julian confessed to his actions and threatened Jimmy with a gun. Before he could shoot, Porcadillo intervened and tackled him to the ground. Later, Detective Corrigan captured him, and Jimmy shared the entire story in the Daily Planet. Janie Olen, distant cousin. Janie, another distant cousin of Luthor, left Metropolis to pursue a career in playwriting and became a noteworthy figure in the world of theater. She brings a fresh and elevated perspective to the stage. It is said that her talents overshadow the norms of her generation. When Jimmy was in danger with a contract on his life, Janie was the one who got involved and dealt with the complexities of their family connection and the threats surrounding Jimmy. Janie has a special talent for artistry, enabling her to create using different methods and drawing from collective intuition. Marvelous verdict. The Luthor family tree puts together ambition and an unending pursuit of dominance across generations. They're living proof that you don't always inherit wealth, but sometimes evil too. From the ancestors to the present, the Luthor's legacy is a journey into the power and balance between heroism and villainy. The story unfolds in various adaptations and storylines. They reveal a complex web of relationships that are full of power-hungry ladies and gentlemen. Throughout the story, the Luthor family symbolizes themes like temptations of ambition, the consequences of power, and the delicate balance between good and evil. Whether on comic book pages or in screen adaptations, the Luthor family tree stands as evidence of the enduring fascination for characters driven by intellect and an unwavering quest for power. I hope you enjoyed this wacky family tree, cause I sure did. Let us know in the comments what more you would like us to explore. If you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.